And Hi, everyone. Dr. Cary Yurkiw here. Thank you for joining me for this webinar called 30 Days to Lean. And this is a challenge that we are putting out to you to get in better shape over the next 30 days. So we're going to talk about transformative approaches to sustainable weight loss and wellness techniques. Sustainable weight loss is vital for long-term health, enhancing well-being and fostering a positive relationship with food. I find this is an area that people really struggle with, like my patients, because often we're brought up with a poor relationship with food. For example, for me, food was used as a treat or a reward. It was a way of, getting some dopamine released in the brain. So whenever I did something that my parents or grandparents liked, they would give me a chocolate. And down the road, eating a chocolate became a way of feeling like I was doing something good. So it is something that, I've struggled with throughout my life. You might have different things like, parents or grandparents that kind of put pressure on you to finish all the food on your plate. That's another one. Maybe it's a guilt complex. You have to eat all your food because there's people that don't have food. It could be other things too, like eating at the wrong time of the day, eating out of boredom. So there's different ways in which we have poor relationships with food. And then that includes some of the education we've had over the years, which has been incorrect as far as what types of foods should we eat. Just too many carbohydrates, too many simple sugars, too many calories. And we haven't really understood how food gets used in our body, how our bodies metabolize the nutrients. So I think it's very important that we kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive into that today. So why do most diets fail? I think they're unsustainable. They're just too hard because food is such an integral part of what we do every day. We eat food 3 times a day, sometimes more, and we eat foods when we feel hungry. Sometimes we eat foods on a schedule. So there's all sorts of reasons why diets fail. And I think when people try to change their diet too quickly and too much, very hard to sustain that long term. Habits change over time, and you need to do little changes like tiny habits to change bigger habits over time. So many people struggle with diets due to the restrictive nature and the unrealistic expectations that lead to failure. A true lifestyle change focuses on sustainable habits rather than temporary fixes, ensuring long-term success and well-being. There's 4 pillars of sustainable fat loss. One of them is achieving sustainable fat loss requires a balance of nutrition, movement, mindset, and recovery to support long-term health. Now, in my clinic with my patients, some patients are in a lot of pain. They're trying to recover from an injury. Maybe they had a car accident, they have whiplash. So it's very difficult to make changes to their diet when they're in a lot of pain. Now, as their pain starts to decrease, they get more mobile. That's a good time for us to start making some lifestyle changes. So it depends on the person and it depends on the circumstance, but making these changes has to happen at the right time. And we want to focus on these 4 essential pillars that creates a holistic approach that'll lead to lasting changes rather than quick fixes. Because you hear this term yo-yo dieting, right? It's like when somebody tries something, it doesn't work, and then they try it again, it doesn't work. It's better that we have a good plan, a good start date, an informed patient, and that way they can make good decisions for themselves going forward, and it's sustainable. I want to make nutrition easy for everyone, and I want to focus on a couple simple things today. One is understanding the importance of protein and fiber, and how important that is for a balanced diet and effective weight loss. So protein, something that's undervalued, should be focused on more. I think we need to understand that protein is the building block for the body. It helps to repair tissues. It makes up our structure. You can think about it like two by fours. If you want to do a renovation to a home, think of your body as a home. If you want to do a renovation, you need the two by fours, two by sixes, these boards and beams in order to restructure the house. So protein is the building blocks for the body, and focusing on protein each day is very important. If you're giving the body enough protein, it'll feel full, it'll feel satisfied. And in fact, there's chemicals and enzymes that are released in the body as soon as you eat protein that start to shut down that hunger center. So you're going to start to feel better when you start eating protein. So I tell people when they start their meal, have an appetizer or start it off with a protein rich food, and that'll start to shut down that hunger center so you don't overeat 15, 20 minutes later. So eat the protein first. And then fiber is very important. There's a number of ways we can get fiber. Fiber from vegetables, they're rich in fiber. You can grind up some flaxseed or psyllium hulls. You can add that to a smoothie, another good way to get fiber. So there's a number of ways. You can eat complex carbohydrates, which have more fiber versus simple carbohydrates. So there's a number of ways you can get fiber from your food or even taking a fiber supplement. Being aware of calorie intake can help you make informed decisions as well. So let's just use 2,000 calories in a day as a benchmark, just for simplicity's sake. So how long does it take for you to reach 2,000 calories in a day? And are you weighing your food? Something I recommend to see how many grams of chicken you're eating, let's say. And if you know how many grams of chicken you're eating, then how many calories does that chicken have? And what's the macronutrient breakdown? How much protein, how much fiber, how much carbohydrate, how much fat is in that? So if we want to keep it simple, calories are units of energy. Your body's going to use that energy throughout the day. How much do you burn just from existing? And then how much are you burning from moving around, depending on what activities you do? And some jobs are more active than others. And some people are more active than others too. And some people have different metabolisms. So we have to take that into consideration. Small, consistent changes to your eating habits can lead to a sustainable results without feeling deprived or overwhelmed. We don't want to starve. We don't want to totally deprive ourselves, because that's not going to be healthy. And you hear about people doing that, maybe with different mental conditions like bulimia, anorexia, some of those which are really unhealthy eating habits that are much bigger than just dietary changes. Smart movement strategies for success. You want to engage in enjoyable activities that can greatly enhance your motivation and commitment to staying active. So going for walks with loved ones, going for a bike ride with loved ones, going to the gym where there's a community and you get encouragement, maybe joining a coaching program. I joined TrainWell this year. It's virtual coaching, and I just love it. My coach is great. The support that the app gives to do workouts, fantastic. So I've done really well with that. You want to incorporate low impact exercises. It not only reduces the risk of injury to your joints, especially if you've been injured before, like I was sharing with you earlier with the whiplash scenario, but also making fitness more accessible for everyone. So most people can do low impact exercises. Like I just told a new patient who had low back pain, go in the pool, instead of swimming, walk from one end to the other against resistance. And this is very good exercise. Remember, consistency is key. Find what you love and make it a regular part of your lifestyle. So do the things you love to do. I love bike riding. I love running. As you know, I'm a runner. So those are the things that I love. I do like to swim in a pool as well. Lately, I haven't been swimming. And I do like hiking, going on trails and going up. We have a lot of mountains where I live. So doing that is really fun as well. So you want to master your mindset for success. So effective goal setting is crucial for achieving long-term success. It helps you stay focused and motivated throughout your journey. So generally, as a rule of thumb, I tell people they could lose up to 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's a good rule of thumb. If you want to be gradual, 1 pound a week. You want to lose 20 pounds, that's 20 weeks. If you want to be more aggressive, 2 pounds a week, it's possible. but it's going to require more effort and more discipline. And that would take you 10 weeks to lose 20 pounds. And again, it's based on your body as well. You know, some people can lose 20 pounds faster than others. So again, it's going to be very individual based. And so groups like this, meeting here for this webinar, or the follow-up mastermind group that we're going to offer you a chance to belong to, that'll help to keep you focused and motivated throughout your journey. Overcoming setbacks is part of the process. Embrace challenges with self-compassion and learn from them to grow stronger. This is a good learning lesson for your life in general. You know, you're going to have setbacks on the journey. What are you going to learn from those setbacks? How's it going to make you a better person? For me, those setbacks enabled me to talk to you from personal experience. I missed a slide, one sec. The vital role of recovery and rest. So prioritizing quality sleep, very important. It's really easy to do. You just have to get to bed a little bit earlier or at the same time every day to get that 8 hours of sleep. Some people need a little bit more, 9 hours. Some people need a little bit less, 7 hours. But if you're not getting good quality sleep, it can be very disruptive and it can stress your system. And effective stress management is important too. Like I talked to you about at the beginning of this webinar, some people are programmed or conditioned to use food as a reward, like I was with chocolate. So if you're under stress, you could be reaching for more chocolate to eat, and that's not going to be healthy. And so having a way to cope with stress, a way to channel that energy, overcome those obstacles can be very helpful for you to get healthier and to lose that weight you're trying to lose. Now, there's a number of different success stories that I can tell you about. I'll just use my own success story. This is back in 2022, where I was really struggling with an extra 30 pounds that I had, and I couldn't lose the weight. It was very discouraging because I knew how the body worked. I thought I had a good handle on metabolism, but everything I tried was just temporary. A few pounds lost, then a few pounds gained. And I really wanted to take the weight off because I wanted to run faster. I wanted to feel better. And so what I did is I started to research the science behind weight loss. I watched a lot of testimonial videos, a lot of them on YouTube, and I connected the two. I connected things like intermittent fasting, like reducing carbs and net carbs, and tracking what net carbs really are and how they work. And so I started to dive into these concepts to get my diet in check, my exercise levels increased, and step on the scale. And then every week, started to lose a little bit of weight, like a pound a week, then 2 pounds a week. Eventually, I lost 32 pounds in 100 days. And I wrote about it in my book called The 100-Day Diet. It's on Amazon. And there's a number of entries in that book that are from my journal. So you can see exactly where I was at a certain point after 1 week or after 2 weeks. And then I share some of those links where I did the research if you want to read those research articles yourself. So I'll just use myself as an example for weight loss in a certain period of time. I'm going to invite you to join the challenge and transform your health today. So if you're interested in getting healthier, you want that support system, then you can join our mastermind group. It'll happen over the next 4 weeks. It's going to be once a week. And you can sign up by reaching out in the chat here. You can type in the chat, mastermind group. We'll get back to you. We'll also send you an email based on the email address you entered for your ticket when you purchased your ticket. And what we're going to do is send out an opportunity for you to join the group. There'll be limited amount of spaces in the mastermind group. If you don't want to do a group setting, there's always that opportunity to do one-on-one coaching. All you have to do is sign up for your initial consult, and then we'll see you at that session. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I wish you a lot of success on your weight loss journey.